everyone on our show, The Success Stories. Our guest for today, Ms. Neelima Bajpai, is a creative brain behind the run of Shakuntalam Films since the day of its launch in 2004. Some of its famous serials are Lado, Banu Mein Teri Dulhan, Wraith, Shastri Sisters. These are just name a few. The TRP of these shows have beat most of the other serials in past. So thank you, Neelima, for joining us today. Welcome, Neelima, on our show, The Success Stories. My very first question to you: how did you become one of the leading producers of TV serials? You rule the TV industry with some of your very famous shows. And how did this happen? What's the story behind this?
Yeah, ruling part, I don't think I would really agree to right now. But see, what happened was nothing was planned, or it happened by design, or I think it was either I was at the right place at the right time, or obviously everybody works hard and everybody puts in a lot of effort into making any show. So basically, I'm from Delhi and I'm a writer director. So a lot of people, when they used to come to Delhi for my shoots, they would say, "Why don't you shift to Mumbai?" And that's where you should be actually. I had never planned to be in Mumbai. The entertainment was shifting to Mumbai, and Delhi office of TV team was focusing on the business and the news side. So I happened to come here, but even in Mumbai, the focus was more on the business side and the news, business news and news, etc. And one of the actors who had worked with me asked me to direct something for Balaji. And then I had done a show for Sub TV, and Sub TV people, then they called me and they said, "Would you, I'd be interested in producing a show for them." So it was a very unique experience. I had never thought of producing, and TV for entertainment was not actually known as a big producer in terms of entertainment. So I just took it as I said, let's see how it goes. The budget was very low, but we were able to manage it, and it won some awards. And there was something that I wanted to develop with TV team for Zee TV, which didn't happen at that time. But then I pitched them as an independent producer, and I made the pilot. And the pilot was liked. It was way ahead of its time. Wraith, my first show, was based on a rape victim, and the taboo and how the society takes it, how it takes a toll on our own personal relationship and all. So I think it was way ahead of its time, but it still struck a chord. And though it was an experimental subject, it still did okay. And on the basis of the show's general performance and the hard work that went into it, and it was breaking a conventional norm. We were offered Dulhan by Zee, and Dulhan was a huge success. It kind of broke Balaji's monopoly of #1 shows. It was the first non-Balaji show to be the #1 show across all the channels. And then once you have a hugely hit show.
So this was being done under your company's name, Shakuntalam Films. What you
from Galti Kiski, I made under Shakuntalam Telefilms banner, and with that, the second show was Galti Kiski was made for Sub TV. They were making it for DD. Wraith was the first show that we did for Zee TV, which was a major entertainment channel, and Dulhan then we did with it. And see, all my subjects, if you pick up anything that we have done as Shakuntalam Telefilms, we have not really done run-of-the-mill subjects per se. So that also gave us a lot of creative satisfaction, if not the numbers all the time, but it gave us a lot of creative satisfaction to be able to say the stories that we want to say. And with Dulhan, which was a commercial, hugely successful show, I wanted to make a show like Lado, which eventually came on Colors. It was developed for some other channel, but then it came on Colors. And all the shows that, and it was on female feticide, infanticide, with Haryana government threatening us that we are kind of bringing a lot of bad publicity to the state. But I must tell you something which happened with Haryana with this show was that Balika Vadhu and then my show Lado, it brought in a change in the fabric of the society. So while Balika Vadhu brought in a decline in the child marriages, with Lado, and it's the newspaper reports and it's a research which said it bring in a drop in the in female feticide and all.
Oh,
Women willing to give birth to daughters, and it was such a big. I mean, it was something beyond my expectations, something beyond any award or TRP or anything that if you could bring that change into the mindset of the people, I was hugely gratified with that, and I got to know it much later after the show was off air. I think after 3-4 years later, I got to know of it from a researcher. Actually, from Star, I got this too. I got this information.
actually, things have changed the society. Wow.
Yeah, so that was a huge thing, and then we did a show called Sapne Suhane where Shastri sisters brought in, the sister bonding. Santan was about the generation gap, how parents and children. Sapne Suhane, what we did was it became those two girls, which was that the line was, why should boys have all the fun? But not in that sense, fun. It was about a girl, when she gets married, all the responsibilities and everything eventually comes up. So it was about those years where you can be yourself, chase your dreams, make mistakes. Family may or may not support you at times, but the family. So it was about that. So those two girls also, a lot of girls saw their own stories with these two girls, Rachna and Gunjan, and that show also was the #1 show. And uh, once again, what I'm saying is, obviously, you stay on TV. Your show is more visible to people only if it's doing well. But I'm saying that is obviously a big high. But for me, the highs have been to create characters which resonate with people, which can inspire people to do better in whichever circumstances they are in. And that is what I feel, shows should be about, where you can somewhere bring in a change, inspire people, not give very unrealistic view about relationships or about anything, and be progressive.
True. So, how do you do your research, Neelima? I mean, how do you select these topics? What? Because they become successful. So, how do you prepare for these?
Shows that we have done very well, which have done very well, have been very gut level shows, have been very instinctive shows. The research and all has started coming now, that people, you take an idea, then you take it to the research, uh, which may have its own advantages. But I felt with whether it was Dulan or Lado or Santan or Sapna Swami Shastri sisters, they have been very instinctive shows. So what we do is we definitely, like with lockdown, we have got to know, which was actually, some research comes to us from the broadcasters, and they gave us certain parameters that people like to see. These are something that they are really, really strong about. They feel very strong about. And if you do something which is against their grain, they will not accept it. So those parameters we definitely look into. But in terms of picking up subjects and how to write and how to do is more instinctive, at least for me. It has been more instinctive.
And how long does this entire process take, Neelima? Right from selecting a topic and writing about it, then shooting it. So, must be taking a lot of time.
See, initially, I mean, in my initial years, it was fat, because then within 3 months you're putting show on air. But now there are many. Now there are a lot of producers. So there are And now, because of very corporate culture setting in and a lot of emphasis given on research, so even if the team in the channels like the subject, it still goes for a research audience feedback. Whether audience like it or they don't like it, depending on that, your show is greenlit, even on the concept level. So nowadays, it takes a lot of time from the pitching to, I mean, even if it's, you say, if it's greenlit and it's done in a faster way also, still it takes about 6 to 7 months from the first narration to, eventually your show coming on air. It takes that much of time, if not more.
Ji. Neelima, moving ahead, what do you think about relationships today in today's world? And your views about like relationships, maybe marriage, a joint family system, parents-children relationships. How do you see things going ahead? Is there something to worry about, and where are they going?
See, I think एक तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि in our country now there are two worlds which exist. So there is a Bharat and there is an India. Okay, so clearly, I mean, sitting in Mumbai, the world is very different even from a Delhi. So Delhi is very conventional, little, I would say, little, in that sense, little backward in its thinking.
Acha, you feel so?
So Mumbai is very free. It's a very free, more work-driven city. Maybe I'm saying because I'm not from here, so my family's in Delhi. Maybe because of that, but in general, the first thing that comes when you come to Mumbai is the feeling of freedom. Whether it is feeling completely safe, even at 2 o'clock in the night, to even general well-being. I'm just saying generally. So, but the concept of family is very deep in our society. So even if you don't have a one kitchen thing, if there are 2-3 brothers staying, so either they take an entire, OT kind of a thing,
floor or yeah.
But people generally like to stay close to their family. So first thing is God, the trust in God. The second thing is family. The family comes first is a very, very strong concept in our country. Relationships in big cities, man-woman relationship, because women are more financially independent. They don't want to take nonsense, So if they feel that they are in a relationship which is not giving them anything, they would want to move away, because that kind of independence or that kind of freedom which women didn't have, let's say even 10-15 years back, now people have, and a taboo is not there, even if you are separated or you've been single or whatever it is, which I feel is good. You're not in a relationship for the heck of being in the relationship. Log kya kahenge kind of a relationship.
Society kya kahegi, pressure ki wajah se, correct.
That pressure women are not taking in big cities. Even in smaller cities, women are taking time to get used to the idea of marriage. Mostly, even in small cities, a father-daughter relationship has changed. Fathers have become a little more progressive. Girls are studying everywhere, and most of the people want and I'm talking about this middle-class educated society, they want their girls to be independent, financially independent. So that is a big change which is coming in people's mindset. I also feel that women now are brought up in a different way. Once again, middle class educated family, they are bringing up their girls without any prejudices, which were there very, very prevalent few decades back.
Yes.
So girls are now very modern. They know themselves well, but boys are still somewhere. They are in a different era only. So how do they deal with this today's women? They are not able to deal with today's women. So that is why there are a lot of things coming. They don't know what to do. So there is an independent, a financially independent woman who's bringing in mullahs, but you still expect her to be that, doing everything at home.
Submissive and listen to them, and yeah.
them, do all kinds of housework and attend and adjust. And there's nothing wrong with it if a woman is willing to do that. But those borders are now kind of getting blurred. Women want to do as much as they want to do, which I think is a very good thing. They are not stuck in a relationship. They are ready to voice their opinions. Uh, so like it's very funny. Like when we go for research, we get the feedback that the Sony woman is who can take decisions. The decisions that okay, when we are buying the house, we can look at this kind of house. That decision, even a woman is allowed to take. So she's a progressive Sony woman. That is what Sony says about the women that Sony audience can relate to. Whereas otherwise a progressive woman is who can decide इस लड़के से मेरी बेटी की शादी होगी या नहीं होगी. So in that sense, we are still very traditional people. Like I said, there is an India and there is Bharat. So there are two very clear, distinct viewpoints. सोच एक है जो, but family, I would still say across, it matters.
Bilkul. So, Neelima, you yourself, a wife, a mother, you own such a big production house. How do you manage everything? I mean, is it easy for you, or is it still you find it difficult to strike a balance? And you still feel that it's a man's world in spite of we women being so progressive, so clear about everything?
See, in the initial year, there's definitely, it is male skewed, male tilted, at least in our profession. It is because most of the people with whom you're working are men. So if you're on a set, from production, boys to set boys to everybody, apart from, maybe 2-3 people are women. So there is definitely a gender tilt towards men because of the long working hours, all of that. But in terms of striking a balance, it really depends on your spouse. It's as much as you want to. So when my daughter was young, when she was very small, it was difficult because at that time I was doing a lot of work, and but it happened with me. I don't know whether it happens with everybody or not. But once I became a mother, it became really difficult for me to completely focus myself at work. Even in office or shoots, one part of me was still with my child. That what is she
at
doing?
Home with the child, worrying about the child. Yeah.
Correct. So maybe it doesn't happen with everybody, but with me it happened, and I had to consciously take the decision to cut down on my work. I had worked also a lot before that, and I also didn't want to miss out on those years of my child. I had that, I would say, freedom, or I had it, I could make that choice. A lot of women are not able to make that choice. But now, as she has grown up, and between me and my husband, because we are in the same field, I am able to strike the balance now with conscious effort that when I'm at work, I'm only working, and I know my daughter is with her father, and she's taken care of. So that thing came little later. It took us some time to get used to the idea of both of us. So with us, it is very equally balanced that we divide our work according. So now I'm able to balance, being a mother and a wife and a working professional. And these lines, they overlap, so when I'm at home, I have a different this thing, but when I'm in office, I have a different role to play, and I'm at ease with that. So I don't find any friction, at least in my life. I don't find that friction. Having said that, being a woman, home remains your responsibility. By and large, it remains your responsibility, which I enjoy actually. So I don't have any complaints about that at all.
Gee.
But that my partner's, his role is also as important. See, we work together, so obviously it makes.
Is it easy, Neelima, अगर एक ही field से हैं दोनों जने तो does it become more easier to understand one another or ऐसा कुछ नहीं है? Depends.
See, in terms of work, maybe, because you understand, the TV has long. See, I don't really direct now unless it's a very start to finish project. So I'm looking after the creative side of all the shows that we do. So it's not practically possible for me to be on the sets and shoot from 8 to 10, 9 to 9 every day. It's not possible right now for me, so I don't do that now. See, one partner, it actually, if you're in this field, then perhaps yes, it makes a lot of difference because your spouse understands that at that time these things are happening. But it also has a flip side. Sometimes when you're together all the time, then
then yes,
becomes your also what happens is your work situation overlaps into the domestic situation and vice versa. So that is on the flip side of it.
Yes, true. घर पे भी फिर सब वही पूरे टाइम बातें and then काम भी
where to draw line कि ये घर का मुद्दा था, I don't need to take it to the office, and or this was an official or office related argument which is coming into your domestic front. So those lines blur and that kind of becomes a little tricky to manage.
Neelima, what are your views about the kind of content being shown? Like Netflix and Amazon and so many things, and the freedom which this media has got to show anything and everything. What are your views about it?
See, my personal view is there's a lot of darkness which is being shown. I mean, the language that is being shown on the kind of shows that are currently streaming, they may be true, but I feel that there can be a room for different kind of content also. I feel if you see generally, if you pick up any shows which have been produced for these OTT platforms, have been very high on violence and on bad language, supposedly catering to men, but if you see internationally, there have been also very, very glorious shows which I'm expecting, I'm hoping will come out from our side also, which are not necessarily, so we're not looking at relationship drama. So I've not seen any relationship drama which could be fresh in today's context, keeping in mind what the relationships are right now, that kind of thing. Or there are a lot of India-specific shows that can be made which could appeal to a wider audience, perhaps, that I feel we should be willing to explore, the platform should be willing to explore. Right now, I think the focus is more on grabbing eyeballs and, so this content is, personally for me, is very put off content. You don't want to watch it. You don't want your child to even look at such shows and all. But I'm sure it's just the beginning. We are new to it. We are trying to create, at least people are coming to see you for whatever reasons, and then you can build on that and make maybe more, evolved, better shows.
True. Neelima, अगर आपको freedom दी जाए कि you can make any serial which is, as you want to make it and as honestly as you can, which would be that topic or issue would you, really want to show to the audience?
See, keeping in mind जिस तरह का crime against women are happening in this country and across maybe the world, not highlight हो रहा है. Like I said before, in our country now the girls are brought up in a more progressive way. Boys are not brought up like that. And I feel the fundamental problem is that boys are perhaps not taught to respect women. So what they see, so when we were doing a show, it was Haryana based once again. So एक मुझे चैनल से इंसाइट दिया कि हरियाणा में अगर हस्बैंड वाइफ को पीटे नहीं तो वो बोलती है मेरा हस्बैंड मुझे प्यार ही नहीं करता, मुझे पीटते ही नहीं, he doesn't love me. So it is, no, so what do you really? That is the mindset. if he's, because the beatna is like, it's such a common thing. If he's not even beating me, that means he's not interested in me. If this is the mindset with which women are growing up, I'm sure they are passing on this. So girls also expect कि husband beatega. Boys who are seeing their husbands, their fathers doing it to their mothers, they also feel that we are supposed to be doing this. Or a simple thing that housework is supposed to be done by women.
Yeah.
So girl, grows up thinking, seeing her mother in the kitchen or doing whatever household work, she thinks, okay, my mother should be, I as a woman should be doing it. A boy doesn't see his father doing it, so he thinks that I should also not be doing it. And that is how we create gender stereotypes. So I feel this gender stereotyping has to stop. It has to stop. And so if given a choice whether people want to see it or not see it and not be confined to the TRPs, I feel to break the gender stereotypes is the kind of thing that I would want to really do, and create awareness about this. That, however evolved it may seem, you can make it entertaining and whatever you can, in a easier to understand approach one can take is to, because I feel that if television has such an important role to play in people's life, it has a huge reach. It has and I mean, everybody
It's such a beautiful medium to reach out to people. I mean,
so I'm once again going by something that we did not for any other intent at that particular point of time. But if shows are made well and they can bring even a small change in the society, then I feel that it becomes our responsibility to make those, at least to attempt those kind of shows. That is what, I mean, the kind of subjects we are developing right now are actually catering to the thoughts that I'm saying, because, I feel that if I have something to say, then only I can make a show. Otherwise, I cannot really contribute to the show. I personally cannot contribute to the show if I have nothing to say in what I'm trying to say through the show. So the show,
आपकी सोच क्या है, आपने क्यों ये बनाया है, क्यों दिखा रहे हैं, क्या चाहते हो आप, वो एक सोल तो होनी चाहिए ना कोई भी शो की.
So I would want to make on breaking gender stereotypes. A child knowing that her parents are equals, there's no mother. I mean, it's a woman and a man, and there's no gender defined role, whether it's a girl or a boy. When they're looking up to their parents, there's no gender defined role, and that's how children should grow up in this age, so that 20 years later we will have a better country.
Yeah.
I would say.
So not even just girls, boys को भी आप,
and
change
we have to appeal to the boys only. Girls are being brought up in a very nice way. Even if it's a 3%, 4%, 5% of the population of this country. But I'm saying, even I went 2 years back to do some research, and I went to my small town cousins and all to meet them and all. And I've seen that girls are now being given equal chance to study, to become economically independent. They are getting those chances. So girls are stepping up. The need of the hour is for the boys to also step up to accept the new reality, to accept the new situation and be okay with it. I mean, few years back, I don't want to quote someone, but I met somebody who was at such a senior position, and she had to leave very, very senior position, because she said sometimes, these top people, they have this, what do you call, boy club. Okay. So they don't want to be there on the top. They don't want them to be there. They are okay if a woman is there, their subordinates are doing.
Yeah, that is true. Yes.
This boy club, what they will do? They will use bad language. They will keep the meetings post-9. They will do all those kind of things where the woman has to excuse and say, oh, and then they will say, oh, but come on, you're not coming for this corporate, bonding. So these are well-educated, very top people. If they are doing something like that, and that lady had to finally quit the job and all. Those things need to change. They have to change. So they have to change from the childhood. You can't change perhaps at that time, but maybe if the boys are growing up seeing something like that in their house, on TV, people around them, then I feel, yeah, things can change. So if that is my, what do you say, I feel very passionately about this.
Very well explained, Neelima. Thank you. So, Neelima, as our theme says, success stories. What is success for you?
See, success at different point of times, I feel changes for you. So sometimes success becomes to be, when you're college, to be the most liked girl, to be most commercially successful in terms of the success of the shows or the money that is coming into you. But right now, I feel success is having a choice, having freedom in terms of work, to be able to choose what I want to do and not want to do. That is success for me. Having um, the freedom, or let's say the courage to say no, is
To
success for
say
me.
no. Courage to say no. Okay.
Is success, irrespective of the consequences. And how I feel with myself, with my company, with the integrity that I want to have around me, the ease with which I can work with not compromising on my core principles is successful. So I cannot really wait in terms of money or in terms of that. Success for others may view it in a different way. For me personally, success is the freedom to choose. Is
Choose basically.
whether it's relationships, whether it is
Whether it's relationship, it's work, it's whatever. You should be able to take your decisions on your own, basically.
correct, and be okay with it,
Neelima, can you tell us something about your future projects? And do you want to be in the TV industry, or you also plan to get into films?
See, films, though, everybody has a dream to make a film one day, so that is definitely there. So what happens with TV is a everyday work, because you have to give those many episodes. It takes a lot of time. So using this lockdown period, we have developed a film script, which is kind of, right now in its first draft only. So we definitely want to get into films, not leaving TV, because I feel TV is tough. TV is something which keeps you connected with the audience. So TV is very, very good. The learnings are so huge that I feel that TV is a big, big, big platform. And right now, films and TVs and OTT, they all are blurred. TV stars are as big stars as,
Yes.
A YouTuber is as big as a film star. All those lines are blurred. So we have to see it very, very differently. OTT platform, yes, I would want to do something which is see, right in TVs, you need to work within certain guidelines. Your girl has to be heroine, has to be a certain way. But maybe with OTT platforms, we can create more real characters. Which need not be so dark or grey, but we can still create real characters. So that is the challenge, and that is the beauty of the OTT platforms, that you can do something that you perhaps cannot do on TV, because TV still caters to a mass audience, and you can make shows for the niche audience. So they both are on our agenda as and when that happen. Like I said, nothing happened by design for us. I'm sure things will happen when they have to happen on both the fronts. But yeah, very exciting phase to be in the entertainment industry, because the stereotypes are getting broken, new kind of content is created. So very exciting time for us to learn, to reinvent, to do different kind of things. So very exciting time, yes.
So any such projects which you are like, can you tell us about any project which you're like doing it right now, shooting it, or something which is coming up soon?
We have made a film on body shaming, but it was done in a very sweet, cute way, which has come on ITAB, which is about it is about a girl who's small-breasted, and how that creates a complex. But it was done a few years back actually. So it was done in a sweet way, nothing very sensitive. We didn't make it very sensational and all those kind of things we didn't do. And that's something we have done in a small way. We've done that. Right now we have pitched shows, but like I said, everything they take about 8 weeks to read and get back and all that. So it happens right now. Things are on the scripting stage. They've gone to the platforms for them to have a read, and then only I can say something about it. Film, I told you that two subjects that are both in an entertaining way, but one an out and out entertainment, one with some kind of messaging. We are developing, but scripts take time. So sometimes the beat sheet is good, but the developed script is not doing so nice. So you have to rework. And films actually take little time because you need to polish all the scenes. You ask so many questions to yourself, whether it's working, not working, the character is good or not good, or whatever it is. So it takes time, and because it's a lot of collaboration, and because there's no deadline to it, so it takes little more time. Television, we work under deadlines. We have to deliver.
Yeah, episode आना है तो आना है. हाँ. There cannot be no delay.
Time, we don't have it. इतना सोचना ही कि time ही नहीं है. So you think very instinctively. Films and platforms, they give you a lot of time to create layers of characters, to create layers in the story, which is the beauty of, I think, these, at least OTT platforms are some very good writing is coming in, whether you like the show or not, but you definitely see a lot of layers, a lot of layering in the writing, which is very, 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 very good, I feel.
What do you think about these reality shows, Neelima? Like, एक बीच में पूरा फेज आया है या अभी भी है कि बच्चे हो या डांस है, म्यूजिक है, सब में रियलिटी शोज. Everywhere is like every channel is some reality show happening.
Yeah. See, I think it's a dream that we are selling to people. I used to see the top contestants have all been from a very underprivileged background. So in a way, it is a very good thing that everybody is getting a platform to come and show your talent. So that is something very good. And obviously, there is an emotional story which is there with all the contestants, and people are able to see the TV, the upper class and the top class, they don't really watch TV. Yeah, they shifted to Netflix and all. So it's this middle class, low middle class villages where people are actually watching TV a lot. So
masses ही है, हाँ, generally second B grade cities and villages.
Because that
TV
is
वही है, right?
That is where your ratings are coming from. So it is a big high to see yourself on TV, to see your child on TV, and then for your child to do well on that particular platform. So it is something that it is not now anybody can become a star with YouTubers and influencers and all those things coming in. I think it's a big gratification for people, and they feel if he can do or she can do it, so can we. And that is why reality shows, I feel, and obviously there is a huge talent. I mean, if you see some of the singers that are coming on the reality shows, and even without the grooming, the dance shows in particular, exceptional talent. What beautiful performances. I am slightly not so okay with that, keeping in mind that children are exposed to this kind of hard work and limelight at a very crucial juncture. So I'm not sure whether it takes an emotional toll on them or not. But I think parents are also very pushy in terms of pushing their children, and sometimes the children are living the dreams of their parents for them. But I'm very happy to see very good talent. I mean, I watch dance shows. My sister is a huge fan of reality shows, and the dance shows and all the singers, very, very talented kids.
Okay. And what would you honestly advise the people from this industry, the upcoming actors, people who want to get into TV industry, associated with it? What is your opinion about getting into this and coming to Bombay and achieving your dreams?
See, first thing is that you can't hide the talent. So I would say right now, because of the OTT platforms, because there's so much of content being created in our country right now, whether it's regional or mainstream, it's a good time to be in the industry. There are a lot of avenues, so a lot of actors who are not getting work before. Now everybody is nicely employed, which is good. There were some people who were good actors, but perhaps they were not that good looking and they were not getting good work because of
Yeah.
that. They are getting recognition, which is fantastic.
हाँ, एक stereotype था पहले कि हीरो ऐसे ही होगा and heroine ऐसी ही होगी या so that is broken for sure.
That is broken, and maybe not on TV. TV still is aspirational for people, so they like to see good-looking people, good-looking houses, and looks play a very very important role because people are they want to see aspirational characters. But in terms of OTT platforms and even in films, a lot of people are getting good opportunities to work, which I feel is very very good. But having said that, I'm saying there is no shortcut to success. There is no, like, I don't remember.
Overnight कुछ नहीं होता.
Somebody had said it took me 20 years to become an overnight sensation. So that is a fact.
Very well said.
People don't see the hard work. They see you when you become successful. But there have been years of struggle. There have been years of failures, hit and misses that people have gone through to become successful. So be ready for it. A lot of people come here for the glamour of it. But TV industry is very hard-working industry. You work every day, 9 to 9, and 2 hours of commute if you put. So 12 hours of work, 14 hours of work actually, every single day you're putting. It's a huge, it's a lot of hard work. I personally, I would want to give my whole team 1 day off. It's not possible because when you're doing 22, 25, 26 episodes, sometimes there's a Mahasanam, all those things happening. People are working 30 days a month. So our responsibility as a producer is to create a good atmosphere on the sets where people like to come to work. They are there, and if you can create ease there, give them more, little more comfort, because it is difficult. It is difficult to come and be there all the time. Obviously, there are going to be mood swings. People don't get time to sleep. They're not eating well, exercise. All those things happen. I'm talking of actors. So make them a little more comfortable. Try to understand them more. At the same time, I will say to the technicians, whether it's writers or to the cameraman or the technical part of it, you have to keep reinventing, and you have to keep what do you say? You have to remain focused at your work. You can't. There's no show. There's so much happening right now, and there's so many players. If you are not performing well, someone else will take your place. So that is one side. But I feel be honest to your craft is what I feel is the most important thing. That you do selective work. You may not make that much money, but you will be at ease when you're working, when you're giving your 100% to whatever you're doing, which I feel is very important. So that is my message.
Neelima, how does a person start? If I'm an actor, how should I start? I mean, where do I plan and how do I plan to go, become big? I just come to Mumbai and then what? What should be done?
See, I think one has to do some bit of some bit of PR is definitely required, but you also need to do research. Okay, these are the production houses which have done the kind of work I want to do. Okay. I also have to be realistic about myself. Am I a hero material or not? I'm not a hero material. I'm a heroine material. I'm not a heroine material. I'm saying this is in terms of look and all. I'm saying. Then obviously there's a lot of polishing work that goes. So when we take an actor, we also see, okay, he or she's suiting the role. It's very close to the character that you had in mind. Then the polishing work of it, whether creating a look to putting that person in a workshop so that this person understands the character, the role, the whole drill is all done by us. So we do all of that. But for an actor who's just come here, they have to be realistic and ready for struggle. Even if you've done a superbly successful show, you may not get a second show very quickly, or your second show may not be that well. So you need to keep your feet grounded. That is one. Second thing is, you should have somebody to fall back on emotionally. I feel it's very important because, like I said, when you're working 30 days a month on the sets all the time, sometimes the success of your shows make you so giddy and they make you feel so godlike and invincible that when reality hits you are not able to handle that. So whether
Yeah.
it's your family or it's a friend, that kind of, I feel, psychological and support everybody needs, because today you're a star, tomorrow you may be nobody. So you have to be ready for that psychologically. And that is why I said grounding is very important. They should come knowing that there is struggle, and it's a very cutthroat competition. So people may or may not have time to be friends all the time. So you need to have somebody to fall back on, whether it's a friend or it's your family support, somebody who gives you a reality check.
Keep sharing things, keep talking, discussing about work, what is going
And
on. Yes.
be realistic in your.
I feel so, Neelima, me also being in a similar industry, I feel people don't open up. They want to talk, and if you talk, things become so easy. But
Yes,
they somewhere hold themselves कि नहीं हमें नहीं बताना है. But that's not helping them in any way. You should be able to.
true friendships are hard to come by. Why I'm saying is because people are busy in their lives. So Mumbai, like I said, is a city which is forever working. People do not really have the time to create a pause and listen to someone, or even to share your story. And sometimes it looks weak. You look weak, if you have certain trouble. So, but to have a person who's perhaps not from the industry, somebody to fall back on emotionally, and also to keep a reality check on yourself. Am I aspiring to? I'm not. That is important. So that kind of support, I feel, everybody needs, particularly actors, because they are always in the limelight. So we are behind the scenes, and sometimes what happens is they forget it's the makers who have created the character. It's the
So
character
true.
which is loved by
Absolutely. Yes.
you. So they forget that, and they come from, and they're young girls and boys who are, and they're getting the kind of money and the kind of adulation they are getting is mind-boggling. That is why emotional anchoring is important. Is what I feel, and more than the actors, I feel that the family behind them need to be told, please don't push your kids so much. Please don't push your dreams on them. Let them be. Let them be. Work is one part of our life. It cannot define us.
That's so true. Very well explained, Neelima. Thank you.
Thank you.
And lovely. It's just going so well talking to you. You're giving the entire perspective of this industry, and such a good. I'm glad that this happened today, and we could meet and talk about so many issues. What is your one of my last questions for you is your message to our audience across the world?
I feel, live life with integrity. Please don't compromise on your core values, however big the temptation is, because it is who you are. I mean, you'll not be happy if you're compromising on things that you do not particularly feel for. And don't be hard on yourself. I would say be kind to yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. This lockdown has definitely shown us that life happens when you're making other plans. Not my quote, someone else's quote. So be easy with your life. Things will happen. Whether be like I said, there's no shortcut to success. Give your 100%. And like in our scriptures in Gita, it is said, and maybe you realize it after a certain point of time, that things will happen at their own pace and their own this thing. You have given your 100%, your best. then just be kind to yourself. Don't push yourself too hard. Like I said, there's more to work, more to life than just work. Work should not define you. Enjoy life. Have more varied kind of exposures. Keep your life a little simple. All good.
And where do you see yourself after like maybe 10 years from now?
I have never planned anything in my life. Like I said, everything.
As you said, let it be easy, let it go, let it flow.
Yeah. Not planned. I never thought I'll come to Mumbai. I never thought I'll become a producer. I never thought, I'll be doing any of this what I'm doing. So I really don't know. I really don't know where I see myself. But in terms of mind, definitely I see myself calmer and more. But
you
otherwise,
plan to be in Mumbai and keep doing a lot of work. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's also fluid. World is our home now. You can work from anywhere. So yeah.
That's true. So great, lovely having you on our show today. And thank you so much. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And it was pleasure meeting you, Neelima, and hope to see you soon. Let's meet very soon.
Yeah. Thanks, Mansi. Thank you so much, Mansi.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Stay tuned for more stories. Now, we have stories on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So stay tuned for such lovely stories with us on our show, The Success Stories. Thank you.